Hi all, Karthik here from Design School by Wpalgoridm. In this video, I'll show you how to build your custom WordPress header using Elementor Pro. Now you need Elementor Pro for this, so if you don't have Elementor Pro, you can get it from the link in the description. Now we're going to discuss how to build our custom WordPress header using Elementor with all the tips, tricks and techniques that you need to know in 2020 and beyond. So once you have the plugin installed, click on templates and click on theme builder. You can choose header and click on add new, or you can simply click add new here and select header from the drop down menu, and let's give it a name. So I'll call it Elementor latest header. So once you give it a name, just click on create template and it opens up Elementor interface. So once you click on the create template, you are now taken to the Elementor screen with this whole template pop-up, right? It gives you all the available templates that you can download or insert into your current design. So that simplifies the whole editing process, but we're going to create the header right from the scratch. So I just closed it. If you want to just bring it back, just click on the templates button and it brings up the blocks. You can also insert any template or your previous templates by clicking here, or you can also pick any other templates by clicking the drop down and choosing whatever you want, right? So we want header, but anyway, I'll just close this off. Now I want a logo, I want a nav menu, and then I want a search bar. So I'll click on the plus button and click on the 3-column layout. Of course, you can right click on each of the column and click on add new column. Even that way, you can create columns. That's a different thing. So for the first column, we need our logo. So just click inside the column and you're now brought to your widgets list. Or you can simply click on this button. Even that will bring up the widgets list. So I'll just click and drag my site logo over here. And if you don't see your site logo here, you can click on the hamburger menu, click on site settings, go to site identity and upload your logo over here, right? If you don't see your site logo, or if you don't see your logo when you drag in the site logo widget, you need to upload your logo. But since I have it, I'll just exit this interface. Of course, you need to publish that. So I'll just click on the logo widget. I don't want the full size. I just want a 60 by 60 logo. So that looks neat. I'll just click on apply. That's neat. I'll click inside the second column. I'll click and drag my nav menu widget into the second column. It gives me, right, the menu that I created. Since I have fairly long menu, it's going to take up quite some space. And I'll click on the third column and click and drag the search form widget into this. So this is how it's arranged, right? Also, it's a good idea to have 3 to 4 menu items so that you can design your header in a really good way. If you have so many menu items, well, the space is going to be a problem in your desktop view. So we'll adjust our menu in a bit. So I'll hit Command E. I'll reduce the menu items to 5 or so, right? I'll just click on dashboard. And under here, I can go to appearance and click on menus. Now this is the menu. It's really long, right? Contact support us. And I can simply create a new item. And I'll just say more. I'll click on menu. I'll click and drag it above this. I'll drag rest of the items below it just onto the right so that they become the sub items or the drop down menu items. Just a slight bit so you see the level. You can obviously have 2 more levels, right? So you can have something like this. Even that is possible, but we'll align all the sub menu items at the same level, right? You can also nest them if you want. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So under more, we'll have all the rest of the items. We need to save the menu. The reason why I'm doing this is to have a more compact menu so that we can adjust the size and stuff. I'll hit publish. I'll choose it to entire site. Now it will give me a warning, not a problem. I'll refresh this so that the menu changes are updated here. Since we saved the menu over here, we just need to update the header template just once. And now our menu is more compact in nature. Let's also give a background to the section that has the logo menu and the search bar widget. I'll just click here, click on style, click on background type. I'll choose a normal white color. That makes all the items more readable. Also, I'll change the style of the menu, drop down menu items, because it's applying the default styles. I don't like the default styles. So I can simply click on the pencil icon or the nav menu, click on style, and text color, I can simply pick this, right? It looks better. It's just a personal choice, not a big deal. And hover color, maybe you can have your primary color when you hover over this. It's totally a personal choice, but it looks more cleaner. I just prefer it this way. And let's also set typography. I'm gonna set it to Roboto and at 18 pixels, right? For desktop, and for mobile and tablet, maybe we can adjust this at 16 pixels each. I'll click on the view and just adjust or enter the value that I like for that particular. Now back in my desktop view, I'll also change maybe the hover color of drop down elements. Or maybe we can simply pick the secondary color of drop down hover elements. So something of that sort. And background, maybe we can make it a bit transparent. I think that looks neat, right? Also, I think I just want to set the typography the same way I set it for individual items. So it's Roboto 18 pixels. And on mobile and tablet drop down elements, I prefer to have 16 pixels each, right? Because that's a bit more readable. So you see that here, right? You can switch to mobile or tablet view and you can see that in action. Now I'm done tweaking these. And toggle button, right? Toggle button is when the mobile view or the tablet view is triggered. So maybe we'll have a totally transparent background color, because I just want the toggle to be there in the white layout, and I prefer having primary color for it. That's great. We'll adjust the rest of the values in a bit, right? So back in my desktop view. Now, while building any Elementor Pro templates or basically anything in Elementor, there are three main things that you need to remember. The first one is the percentage of the column, right? Or the width of the column. This is really important. And this is really important to build your responsive header. So each column has a particular percentage width, right? So this is really important. And the second important thing is the alignment of the widgets. Most of the widgets that you use in Elementor have the alignment option. So even your nav menu, right? It has alignment for the main menu and also for the toggle when the mobile or tablet views is triggered, right? We'll adjust that in a bit. And the third thing is the order in which each of the elements should appear, right? So the nav menu, if you want the nav menu, maybe after the search bar in mobile view, you have to remember that order. So these three things are the guiding principles in building a truly responsive layout. So I'll just click on the search bar. I'll click on the search bar widget. I'll change it to full screen. We'll decide about the toggle alignment in a bit. I think 40 size would do. Also, I'll have background color should be totally transparent, right? I don't want any background color for this toggle. And the color, maybe primary color or secondary color, whatever you like, right? I'll go with the primary color. You can go with anything. And each of the column, again, we need to specify the widths in percentages. Since logo is not the major element that needs the extra space, maybe 10% of column width would do, right? So I just set it to 10% and you can see logo still looks better. Now for the nav menu, we need a bit more space, right? Maybe around 70%, right? So the nav menu looks really neat right now. So 10% is utilized here, 70% is utilized here. So the remaining 20%, maybe you can set it to the search bar or it's set automatically, but don't worry about that. So I'll just click on the column. I'll change the vertical alignment of the nav menu to middle. I'll click on this column. Again, I'll do the same with the search bar as well, right? So now it looks a bit better. If you want, you can add a padding to the section. Let's add a 30 pixel padding, or maybe 10 pixel padding would do. Or if you don't want padding, you don't necessarily have, but I'll just add a 5 pixel padding to the whole thing, right? So this is our desktop view and I think it already looks better. If you want, you can change, you can click on the nav menu, go to style and change the drop down menu item properties. So I have the same font size for the drop down menu. You can reduce the font size. Maybe you can have 16 pixels here. Just a little, way to tweak it. And having that more is really neat, as you can see here, right? Now the responsive nature of the whole header is also designed or decided by the elements within the header. So for the nav menu, let's say if you add a bit of margin, if you add a bit of padding, or let's say you have huge font sizes for each of the elements, that in turn will impact the whole space that this menu would occupy. So if you limit the vertical or the horizontal space to 70%, if you try increasing the element size, you'd have a lot of padding right beneath this particular nav menu. So it's always a good idea to leave the elements at default. You just adjust the font size of the elements, the column width, and few other things, but do not add individual padding to the elements within the menu items, right? So that would make this even more bigger and more stuffed. To keep it minimum, just add a little bit of padding to the whole section that has these 3 widgets and that would do, right? Now this is on a MacBook Air of a typical resolution around 1300 by 900 or something, right? So, and this particular window that you're seeing is about 1280 by 720, even less than that. Now, why is the dimension really important, right? Well, the dimensions are really important in testing the breakpoints. Now we have the menu look like this. So this header looks really great, right? So how about the mobile or tablet preview? Not so great, right? And on mobile or tablet, I want the hamburger menu to be on to the right of the search bar. The same thing with mobile device as well, right? So like I said, remember the 3 most important things: percentage, alignment, and then finally the order of the elements as well, right? So percentage stands for the column percentage on each of the previews. Alignment is the alignment of the widget, and finally then the order, right? So percentage can easily be changed. Click on tablet. This is still 10%, not a problem. Maybe it doesn't matter at this stage which percentage has which column has which percentage, because both of them are identical in nature. Maybe you can change the vertical alignment a bit. Maybe you can bring it onto the bottom. Maybe that would look better, right? Or you can simply increase the size of the hamburger menu, right? We'll adjust the menu itself in a bit. The same thing with the search bar, right? Maybe I can bring it to the bottom. Maybe this looks a bit better, bit more properly aligned. Now I want this to be on to the right of the search bar. How can that be done? Well, there's no reverse order or there's no real way to change the order of the columns in Elementor Pro by default. There's a feature in CrocBlock that lets you actually change the order of the columns. I think it's a part of Jet Tricks. You can check that out. Link to that will also be in the description. But how do we do that? Well, there are two solutions for this problem. On tablet and mobile, maybe you can create a column that just appears in tablet and mobile previews, but not in desktop, right? So you can simply click on add new column. I'll just click on this column, go to advanced. I can click on responsive. I can hide this on desktop. And then I can simply adjust the alignment back again. 70, this is 70 or 60. That's 80 and 30, right? Let's also give some minimum adjustment, 1% or something, to this column, which actually technically is hidden. Let's set this to 20, right? So technically this column is not present, right? On desktop it's not visible, but this column will become visible on mobile and tablet. So you can add the menu here as well, right? So I'll switch to my tablet view or mobile view. I'll click here. I can simply copy this widget. I can right click on this and I can simply paste. So the hamburger menu even appears here. And I'll change the alignment to bottom. So that looks better. I can click on this column, go to advanced. I can say responsive, hide on tablet, hide on mobile, right? So we need to adjust the percentages again when this particular column is hidden. So this will be 10% on mobile. Let's give 0% for this. And I think this can be 70, 10, 70, 80, and this can be 20. Doesn't matter, right? And since we gave 70%, this will be taking up most of the space. It doesn't matter as both of them are essentially icons. But like I said, the second most important thing is the alignment of the toggle. So I'll just click on the search bar. I'll align it onto the right. Still not there, right? Maybe I'll change this to middle itself. I'll also change this alignment to middle. So they kind of look better. Now, since these both are not side by side, I can simply change the alignment of the hamburger menu. So on mobile, like I said, like mobile drop down, the toggle can be aligned onto the left. Just like that, we have a decent looking mobile menu, right? You can adjust the positions again, alignments, but remember the 3 points, percentage, the alignment of each of the widgets, and then finally we need to adjust the mobile drop down a bit. So this is one way to do it, just by adding a column that's hidden on desktop, and then you can put another column, the same column but onto the mobile and tablet devices. There's a better way to do this. So this is one way. I'm removing the column. So with just a little bit of CSS, there is even a better way to do this. So I'll bring this back. Now I'll assign normal percentages. This 70 and this can be 10%. 70, 10, 80, and this can be 20%, and that's automatically set anyway. So on desktop, this is fine. I'll go to advanced. I'll change the responsive nature. Now it's visible on all of the devices, right? Click on the widget, go to responsive nature, and make sure it's available on all devices. It's not hidden on any of the devices. Also, I'll do the same thing with column. Make sure that the column is not hidden on tablet and mobile. Now, without using the extra widget and hiding this on mobile and tablet, you can simply change the order by using a simple CSS property. And I'm going to show you how it works. So Elementor, this whole thing, design system, is built on top of something called CSS Flexbox. Now you can read about it, but essentially it follows a CSS based layout. And since it's a CSS based layout, you can simply change the order by using a little bit of CSS. But before that, click on the columns that you want to change. And I'm going to give the nav menu column a class of WPA menu. WPA is my website's name, Wpalgoridm, or maybe WPF menu. Adding a prefix will make sure that this class is always identical. I'll click on the column that has the search bar. I'll say WPF search, or let's call this call 2, and let's call this call 3, right? WP-call-2, right? So we can simply click on the section, go to advanced, click on custom CSS. Now you can simply type selector and dot space WPA or WPF call 2 selector dot WPF or whatever class name you've given, call -3. You can simply set an order for this. I can simply say order for this column should be, since we want this right to this, the order should be bigger than this. So I'll say order 3 and order 2. But this whole code, we just want it to be executed only on tablet or mobile devices, right? But not on desktop. So we need to add a little breakpoint condition. As you can see that the code that we put in the section that contains all 3 columns is selector space dot class name of the second column. The same thing, selector space dot class name. Don't worry, I'll leave this code in the description. So these two can be relative. So this number can be 50 and this number can be 20, right? It will still have the same effect. But if you give a bigger number to the second thing, the order reverses. So whichever is higher will be shown later, whichever order is lesser will be shown first. So the third column is brought here, but we want this whole code to be applied only on tablet and mobile devices. Now how do you do that? You can simply Google CSS media queries. I've already explained this. So custom breakpoints, and you open up the W3 schools result, just copy this whole thing and let's paste it down here. Now I'll just pull this a bit so that you can see that better. We don't need the body code here. I'll remove this and this percentage or this value, what it should be, right? So essentially what we are saying is in this code is that when it's a screen and when the max width is this value, so any value below that, the code inside this will be executed. So we want this to be executed for tablet and mobile devices. So you need to find the breakpoint at which the design changes into tablet. So click on the hamburger menu, click on site settings, click on layout, scroll down and click on breakpoints. So by default, the breakpoint for tablet is 1025 pixels. So we'll just use the same value. Go to CSS, type CSS media queries, open up W3 school 1 result, and instead of 600 pixels, we're going to enter 1025 pixels. I'll click on the section again, custom CSS, and this value will be 1025, right? And this whole code will be inside these two braces. I'll hit tab, paste, easy, right? Now you see the difference. Or we'll update this. I'll just click on the I button, click on preview. Now the header is loaded. Now my screen dimensions are 1200 or 1300 by 900 something. Now if I scale my window down, we just need to adjust the column widths and the alignments, but you can see that in action. Okay, so we just have a little preview here. It appears that the search bar is moved on to the left That's because I opened this side panel. But if I minimize the side panel, the natural order is shown, and that's how we want it. So the code that we put in the section was essentially the media query with opening and closing braces, and between that you just say selector space first or the column that has the nav menu name, and then the same thing selector space dot the second or the column that has the search bar name. I just called it call1 and call3 or WPF hyphen call hyphen 3. You can simply call it call1 or call2, but this is a good naming convention. I'll put this code in the description. The only thing that you need to change if you've customized your tablet breakpoint is to put that value instead of this 1025 pixels here, and rest all you can. These two numbers can be anything, but let's put it at 3 and 2. This can be 30, this can be 20. They just need to be, so the column 2 should be a bigger number for tablet and mobile. That's it. So let's adjust the design for tablet and mobile. I'll click on the tablet. You can see this is not looking good. Although I want the search bar away from my logo, the alignment of the search bar is fine. But the problem is with the hamburger menu. I just want it on the same line as the search bar. I'll click on the column. 10% is fine for this. 70% is also fine for this. So rest we just have 20%. So we just need 20% of the width. And if you enter that value, that will be pushed right next to your search bar. Now you can click on the hamburger menu or the nav menu. And now you can adjust the alignment. Let's also adjust the column order. I'll also adjust the column order of this. I'll click on this column. Let's bring it to the top. And finally, we need to fix the toggle problem, right? So the toggle is stretching in a weird way. So I just click on the hamburger menu. I'll go to my tablet view, which is where we'll see this toggle, right? Tablet and mobile. The alignment is fine, but we'll just make it full width. So that's better. Now I'll also change the vertical alignment from bottom to middle. That's great. I think now when I click on the hamburger menu, the items properly appear. I'll click on the pencil icon again. Instead of aligning the items onto the left side, I'll align it onto the center. Maybe this is just my preference, but you can pick anything you want, right? This looks neat. Let's see if that fixed it for mobile as well. Again, I'll change it to middle. Relative, right? So everything works perfectly fine. Now this is what the look that we are aiming for, right? Mobile is fine, right? Also, we got the toggle onto the right side of the search bar. So like I said, the three key things: percentage, alignment, and finally the order. We just change all three and we have a perfectly responsive header. And not just header, you can follow these three principles and have any responsive template. And this is really important. So I'll update, and that's it. We'll also make it sticky. Click on motion effects, and you can also enable scrolling effects. Once you make it sticky, you might want to make the header darker or something of that sort. If you want to do such things, there's a video on the channel. Check out sticky scrolling effects. Search for it on the channel. You'll find it. But this is how we build a responsive custom WordPress header. You can also put any number of elements in it. You can also put a button in it. You might have to adjust the font sizes of the nav menu and adjust the maybe menu items, and then add a new column with the button. Again, adjust using the same guiding principles, right? The order and stuff, right? The order is perfectly fine. So this is it for now. This is how you build a custom WordPress header. I also showed you how to do that with additional column, but without additional column, if you put this order property in the section that has all the columns, you'll be simply able to reverse the directions of the elements without needing another column and another widget in it, right? So this is it for now. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll catch you in the next one. In the next video, we'll be building our custom footer. See you in the next one. If you don't have Elementor Pro, you can get it from the link in the description. See ya.